Yes, I started when I'd already been here for 10 years, and I came back from a gig in Birmingham where I was with 300 people and my friends laughing and laughing, and then this is 14 years ago, but I started going when I was 18, you know. You pay your £10 or your £12, and this is a long time ago, and then you get a compere and 3 very good comedians, and that was a fantastic night. And I went again and again and again. It's very popular. It's still very popular in England. There's nothing like that here, and there still isn't. But about 14 years ago, I thought, well, let's try and start something. They'd already started in the Juan Sebastian bar, and they were called Monólogos por la Beneficencia, and I think they still exist. And there was a good group of comedians, and I was lucky, and I did, as Diego Peña was one of the comedians, who's now professional as well, and as I said to him, you know, it was a big slog doing all that. We've done between Diego and me, we've done more than 5,000 gigs, more than 2,500 gigs each, because we did night after night, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 in a night, getting the same money that we get now, which was better in those days. And I always said to Diego, well, we had to leave that, because you can't be professional and do, you know, bars in the barrio for practically nothing. But that was our Hamburg. Well, are there any differences in humour around the world? I think international humour would be slapstick. Everybody likes seeing people fall down holes. Not really though, because I was watching on YouTube today, it was of these fail videos again, and it was people failing to do things, and it's not really funny after about 4 or 5. But anyway, yeah, I think that would be international, because it's the shock and the surprise, and you're glad it's not you. Who was it? There's another quote that I like. It says, "Tragedy is when I hurt my foot. Comedy is when you fall into an open sewer." But on the level of what makes people laugh, I imagine what made people laugh in communist Russia is not the same as in modern day Brazil. But I don't know. There's got to be a substratum. When they talk about humor inglés, and I've just written a book called that, because they talk about that in Spanish, a sort of category, a set, humor inglés, which sometimes means stupid humour that you don't find very funny sometimes. Try to explain what I think maybe humor of the language of English is, because it includes America and Australia and everywhere they speak English. And I've combined 4 things. Nonsense, we love nonsense, we love satire, we love puns and wordplay, and as the important thing is a thing called hangdog, or deadpan they call it in America, which is tell the joke like this, just tell the joke like that. Woody Allen a little bit, Walter Matthau. There are some very, very good English examples of deadpan. They just hardly any expression on the face, but very confident with the material, and it just comes out funnier. Just comes out funnier to me. When you're improvising as well, it's much funnier to be deadpan, because if the audience think you're funny, that's a little bit egotistical, isn't it? So better to just play your part, I think. I do know some communist Russian jokes, but I won't do them here. But they're very black humour. You know, people like dirty humour, don't they? There's a tendency in Spanish comedy to shout loud and say lots of swear words. And when people start doing that, I personally I don't like it. Maybe the material's good, but if it's good, you don't need the swear. Sometimes you do, sometimes you need the swear words. Shall I do my example of when you need a swear word? because again, it's not my joke. There's one I do about the violin, and it's just all rock jokes from the street and from tradition. And this one is actually from Spain, and when I was playing the violin concerto of Beethoven, and I play it all terrible, and somebody stands up and shouts. I have to do it in Spanish. He shouts, "Que se cae el hijo puta del violinista," which would be, I suppose, tell that cunt of a fiddle player to shut the fuck up, something like that. But you use a strong swear word because the payoff line, the end is the director, the conductor stops the audience, stops the show. So who's that? Who's that? ¿Quién está llamando violinista este hijo puta? And that, you see, I think when you do the hijo puta at the end, that is good because it really is taking him from violinist to a very low thing. And in case you don't understand Spanish, you tell that cunt of a fiddle player to shut the fuck up, and the director turns and says, "Who's calling that cunt a fiddle player?" I think you could do it with a softer swear word, but I always use that one there. On the other hand, there was one that I do, which is about somebody saying that they're a non-practice. I say that I'm a pacifist, and they say that they're a Catholic. And so I said, "Do you go to church?" He says, "No." "Do you do the rosary?" He says, "No." "Do you pray?" He says, "No." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I'm a non-practicing Catholic." So I smacked him around the face like that, gave him a little bofetada, and he said, "Well, I thought you said you're a pacifist." I said, "Yes, I'm a non-practicing pacifist." Now that joke I used to do with, I hit him in the face, and then I realised that you don't have to hit him in the face, just give him, it's the same joke, it's just a bit nicer. I think we should be clever from now on and realise that as soon as you tell a joke, it dies. In the old days in America, you could literally make a living by going around the United States of America with one show your whole life. You never had to change it. They used to bring in other sketches, or people went, people left, other people came in, but basically they'd do one show. And you could do that in Aragon, here where I live, up to 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But you can't now, because as soon as you do something, it's on YouTube or YouTube. And then it's not, some people like to hear a joke twice, I suppose, but it's not the same as a piece of music. So you've got to improvise. People say, "Do you improvise in your shows?" Not really, because I do an improv show. I do my monologues or my stand-up, and I do an improv show, and that's where I like to improvise. And we improvise from a blank slate, from absolutely nothing. And that's a skill that is going to be necessary for the future. There was a Chilean writer who said, who does improvising, I can't remember his name, and he said, "Why is it that people go to the theatre hushed, very quiet, but when people go to a football match, they go in like, why don't we go to the theatre like that?" And maybe in the world in the future, people will like improvisation so much, and it's very similar to football because there are teams of improvisers. I don't like competing, I have to say. That's a big fashion in Spain for impro match, impro catch, impro let's be better than ever, impro I don't like that. Just a team improvising together, and at the end everyone go. That would be a nice future. They know about the Beatles, will they? They know about the Beatles and the 10,000 hours, right? Okay.